What are some of the takeaways from last night's on-stage tussle?
Well, there are two major takeaways. One, of course, was the surprisingly poor performance of the incumbent president, Joe Biden, and also a repeat performance, as we've seen before many times, from Donald Trump of misstating facts. But he was much more restrained than normal. There was no studio audience for this debate, so the mood was very different than a typical Donald Trump rally. But the performance of Joe Biden is causing severe concern today here in Washington among White House officials, party officials, and major donors.
To what extent is substance versus performance important in terms of shifting voters' choices, and how much impact does this have?
Well, I think everybody would like substance to be the most important thing, but unfortunately, the optics and the voice of President Biden last night were surprising, caused concern. And that's what's going to be remembered from this debate, not the substance, not the topics they discussed. And we pretty much know how both of them feel about those subjects anyway. At one point, this debate devolved into a fight between the two candidates about who was the better golfer. And so that's more apt to be remembered than their positions on abortion or the Middle East or Ukraine.
So if we want to talk about substance, were there any new policy proposals or significant shifts in their positions?
Not at all. Both of the politicians had their talking points. They stuck to them and peppered each other with insults, basically. Saying that the other was the worst president. This is the first time we've ever had an incumbent president debating a former president who's trying to get his job back, and discussions like that, and blaming each other for the January 6th insurrection to some degree.
What are you hearing in terms of any major fallout from this?
Well, the major fallout is going to be whether Joe Biden remains as the Democratic Party's presidential nominee. This all needs to be decided in about 40 days, even before the Democratic National Convention in Chicago in mid-August, because one of the key swing states, Ohio, has a deadline to put the name on the ballot. And we have not seen in exactly 100 years a totally open contest at a convention for the Democrats.
Quickly, will they debate again?
That is a great question, and we don't know today. I think very much Joe Biden wants to get back up there and prove that he can do a lot better. There's talk about doing that in September. Whether Donald Trump will agree to that or not remains to be seen.